What's going on, everybody? LK here, back at it again with another video, and today, not specifically Dragon Ball Fighters actually. So today, actually a couple of weeks ago, I asked on Twitter for you guys to send me some questions for a YouTube video, this one. There were like just enough that I didn't have to cherry pick which one, so I'm going to be going through all the questions that you guys sent me on Twitter. These questions, of course, are Dragon Ball related, but they're also just general fighting game related, questions about me, etc. So I'm looking forward to it. If you like this video or any of the other videos I put out, I would suggest liking this video or subscribing to the channel, or do both. It does help the channel grow, and I do appreciate it. Thank you so much. Alright, so with that, let's just hop right into it. So first question, what fighting games did you play growing up? I definitely remember playing like Street Fighter 2 when I was like 5 or 6 on the SNES, and I played some Mortal Kombat. This is like in the 90s, so Mortal Kombat was pretty controversial, so of course I was trying to play it. But besides that, I didn't really play like fighting games. Like when I was a kid, also a wrestling game like WWF/WWE was pretty popular, but I didn't really at least play any type of fighting game or like 1v1 versus game until Smash. Like I played Smash 64 and I played Smash Melee, and Smash Melee is basically the main reason why I play fighting games today. Which USA Midwest tournaments was your favorite experience? I guess so this one is kind of, so I don't really have special opinions about tournaments really. So there are definitely other competitive fighting game players who will say like this tournament's good, this tournament's bad, whatever. But for the most part, as long as I can go somewhere, play, hang out, and like, you know, do stuff in the local area, then I mostly have like a lot of fun. The good tournaments, or at least the popular ones in the Midwest, are definitely Combo Breaker, and the other one I've gone to a couple of times, and I'm really happy because I couldn't go for a very long time, and I finally started being able to go to this starting like only last year or something, or 2 years ago, was Frosty Fausting. So I always love those two tournaments. When did you begin feeling like you actually understood fighting games? Like the first one you felt decent at, how old are you, or were you? This is like 3 questions. Actually, this guy asked like 4 questions, but we'll take it one at a time. So low key, I mean, I feel like I'm still learning, honestly. I talked about it on stream a bunch. I've made a couple of videos about it too, but I feel like I'm still learning. But I definitely started to really feel like, oh, I get this. Maybe like in 2012, so like 8 years ago, I was 23 at that time. This is like during Persona 4 Arena. Warrior Marth has to be Marth. I'm sorry, Roy. Roy is everything darkness in my heart, so we have to discard Roy. We have to pick Marth. If you had to choose to kill, fuck, marry, Dragon Ball, Guilty Gear, and Grand Blue Fantasy, probably marry Grand Blue. But who do we kill between Dragon Ball and Guilty Gear? Probably Dragon Ball. Kill Dragon Ball, fuck Guilty Gear. That's probably right. Yeah, marry Grand Blue, fuck Guilty Gear, kill Dragon Ball. Okay. Oh, this is a good one. So the $1 million question: how should FG devs go about bringing in new players while also keeping the competitive players happy and engaged? We need more casuals to have fun and actually want to keep playing fighting games, and no one wants a watered down version of the game. I think this is a really good and a really, really hard question. The main things I feel is that like the game has to feel fun, and it has to feel like there's some depth, but it's easy to get into. That seems to be like the common thread with a lot of the more recent games that have been popular, at least when they released. I really did think Persona 4 Arena was like the perfect balance of like an actual deep fighting game and also like a game that's easy to pick up. Dragon Ball is up there too, even though there are their own challenges with that game. Mostly like you have to learn 3 characters is one. How the neutral works is another. Since you have mechanics like super dash and stuff, it'll kind of like skew how you play it. But I think Dragon Ball actually does do a really good job getting new players in compared to some other games. For example, I actually think Grand Blue, even though it's like an easy game, I think it's a pretty hard game for new people to play if they're playing like anyone decent. Because even though the game is like simple and easy to access, a lot of the ideas and concepts you need to understand to be good at the game are pretty advanced things, and a new player is not going to learn that very quickly. So I don't know, this is definitely a really hard question. I'm sure every dev thinks about this when they are making a new game. Unfortunately, they also think that they have to make certain things easier, which I don't think they necessarily do. Like the stuff I talk about all the time, so like how they make jump-ins good, how they make bad movement good, and like stuff like that. But their goals should be like fun factor, the right amount of sauce, and like, because we always talk about easy execution when a game comes out too, but we always find hard stuff down the line. So they're already pretty good at the execution balance thing, I think. What character do I want to delete from Dragon Ball FighterZ? Nobody really, honestly. Dragon Ball is like, you know, they're annoying characters, but I played enough fighting games where I could think of examples in other games of characters I'm like, be gone, please. But in Dragon Ball, that character doesn't really exist, I think. What is my mentality when I pick a main in a fighting game? So I actually talked about this on stream like last week. Yeah, it was like last Friday. Basically, I go through an order of questions that I ask myself to determine whether or not I'm going to play the character. This is pretty recent, by the way. But what I like to do first is, does the character fit my aesthetic, is 1. 2, how strong do I think they are? And then 3, do I think they're really good at playing the game for what it is, or do I think they are good at beating what is good in the game? Those are basically the steps I walk through now. Before, I pretty much just try to pick top tier characters that fit my aesthetic. I'm not really locked to play style. I know I'm known for playing a specific style of character, right? You know, like the set play, knocking him down into continued offense. But usually, you know, even if the character isn't that, I build that out anyway. So I've ended up playing different styles of characters because of that. But anyway, those 3 things are the way I try to pick characters now. Is Trunks my favorite Dragon Ball character, and why? Yes, he is. He just needs a little love, man. He had a hard life. It hits, man. It hits. He's just a cool character. He's got a sword. He had like that Future Trunks, man. That's like a really cool arc in DBZ. It's actually that whole Cell arc. The Cell game is probably like my favorite part of Dragon Ball, and I thought Trunks was cool since I was a kid, pretty much. So when he was in the starting roster for Dragon Ball FighterZ, I was like, all right, this one is a lock. What made you choose the name LordKnight? So this is a funny story. So back in the day, so before like Twitter and Discord, we used to use forums. So forums are not so common anymore. The big ones still exist, but like before, even like really niche things would have like small forums you can join. So I joined like a Golden Sun. I was really into Golden Sun when that game came out, so I joined a Golden Sun forum after I played Fire Emblem for the first time on GBA. So my username there was after my favorite character in the game. Her name's Lynn. So I named myself Blade Lord Lynn, but I confused everybody because everyone thought I was a girl, and I was like, oh wait, maybe I shouldn't pick my handles like this, right? So they would just call me BLL instead. After playing Fire Emblem, I started playing the other Fire Emblems, because once you know how to play one, you can play basically all of them. So I started playing the old ones, and then I played the 4th one, which is still my favorite game to this day. It's not even my favorite Fire Emblem, it's my favorite game. And the main character, his name is Sigurd, and his class is LordKnight, right? So when I wanted to get into Melee a couple years later, I joined Smashboards. I wanted to just have my username be Sigurd, because I was like, that's my boy. Imagine if that stuck, by the way. But someone else already had the name, and I was like, how could someone have this name? So instead, I went with LordKnight, and then that just stuck until today. Dream fighting game, we're pretty close actually. Granblue's close because I really would like a Fire Emblem fighting game that's not Smash. So Granblue's pretty close aesthetically to what I've wanted in a fighting game for a long time. Of course, this base Vegeta fight stick button in ASMR is literally like every ranked video, right? So you already got a bunch of those. Who's your favorite pro to play against any game? I don't really have anyone too specific in mind, to be honest. Most of the games I play, actually pretty much all of them, they're all really fun to play at high level. That's kind of the thing that keeps me in it once I get really deep in the game. So I don't really have, even like Dragon Ball, like I'll complain about Dragon Ball and stuff sometimes, but the game is actually really fun to play at high level. So Basically, it's basically anyone. I just think it's really fun to play anyone. What other anime would you want to see given the fighters treatment? So since you already had a question similar to this, I won't say Fire Emblem again, even though I really want to. There would be some like, wow, really games. Like it would be cool if Vinland Saga got a game, for example. People be like, why that game? I'm like, same reason, because it's just knights and bandits fighting. That'd be cool. I can't. I mean, that's like I guess because that's the last anime I watched. It's like top of mind. Or like if Berserk got a fighting game, that'd be pretty cool too. Or they could just really, really go all the way and just really kind of bully Marvel vs. Capcom and do Shonen Jump team game. But the only thing is, ideally, whatever game, when you say fighters, I'm assuming you mean team game too. Please don't make it a team game. Please, for the love of God, don't make it a team game. I'm good on team games for a few years, so whatever game, you know, that gets whatever is the next licensed game, I would really hope it's 1v1 and not a team game, personally. How do you pick what games you play and how many you choose to focus on? So the rule is no more than 2 games to play at one time. I think 3 is just too much to maintain. 2 is like the right balance. I think ideally you really just focus on one game. A lot of like the most well-known players of the most competitive games are, even though they played many fighting games, they, at the time where people were like, oh my god, this is the guy to beat, this is the person to beat, they're pretty much focusing on one game. They might be messing around with another game, but they're really, really focusing on one. 3 is no-go unless you're playing, I mean, if you're playing casually, you can play as many as you want, but if you're thinking about competition, 3 is definitely no-go. If you're playing 3, like, for people, and by the way, I have entered 3 tournaments at a major before too. So you think about like your Chris G types too, and like your Justin Wong types. He does that a lot. Like you're not actively practicing that 3rd, 4th, 5th, whatever game. It's just you're relying on like the stuff you learned before. So really no more than 2. Besides that, it kind of is just like, I pretty much just play Arxis games, but I try everything. And then after like a month or so, I'm like, how much am I willing to play against the stuff I dislike in order to continue to get better at this and to try to find the fun in it? Because quite frankly, a lot of fighting games I've played and am known for, I don't like the game so much per se, but usually the thing that gets me is that my enjoyment of the character I'm playing greatly exceeds how annoying playing the most annoying characters are, so I just stick with it. In the case of Dragon Ball and Grand Blue, Dragon Ball and Grand Blue for me are skill building games. These games both require a lot of things that I don't normally have to do, so in order to be a more complete high-level fighting game player, I am playing these games and trying to work on my weaknesses. So probably what I pick next would be something. I mean, I'm always thinking about competition too, by the way, like trying to, you know, win stuff. But in the past like year or so, I've been like, oh, like I actually should be really, really focusing on getting better. Like normally I'm thinking about getting better at the game I'm playing, but and doing whatever I have to do that. But I've been thinking more about getting better overall as a fighting game player for, like, you know, future games. As usual, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Like and subscribe if you feel like it, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.